So please bear with me for another 20 minutes to give you some information about the institute, about the exam, and about some recent changes. Hopefully, can motivate you to register for the exam after this class, or at least enroll in Smart Train Prep course. Okay, so the CFA Institute is a non-profit organization. So all the work we do is not for money, maybe a little bit for my salary, but we're driven by mission to lead the investment profession globally by promoting the highest standard of ethics, education, and professional excellence for the ultimate benefit of society. We always emphasize ethics is very important because in the investment industry, we're handling a lot of money and our clients' money. So this is a very important ethics foundation that we uphold for over 75 years. So some statistics, you have some context because our organization is started in the US. So you can see many of our members or CFA charter holders are still in the America. However, we have more and more candidates in Asia. If you look at this picture, over 50% of candidates are actually from Asia. So if eventually all of us become CFA charter holders, we're actually catching up with the biggest market in the world. Vietnam is one of the fast growing market in this region, and especially students is a big population of new level one candidates in Vietnam. So we mentioned about students. Some of you may be still students, some of you may be graduate. But to give you some context about the industry, we recently did a graduate survey. Just two things to point out. So for the second one, finance degree or working in the industry is still very preferable among all the young generation. And secondly, after you graduate, they think that upskilling with postgraduate studies or professional qualification is definitely important for you to start a successful career in the industry. So this is why CFA come to the picture, especially if you have a finance background. You can now take the CFA program even during your university study, which I'll share with you more later. Okay, so who has a CFA charter? Globally, you can see from this graph, many of the job roles actually do have CFA charter holder because of the very broad range of topics and curriculum of the CFA program. You can see the biggest bubbles here will be, of course, portfolio manager, and then also equity analyst, buy side, sell side. We all always mention that because it is because of the very broad knowledge of the CFA program curriculum, which basically prepare you for a lot of different entry level job roles if you want to enter the finance or investment industry. So these are some of the top employers globally. I'm sure you're familiarized with these names. They are all global bank, investment firms, consultancy, all employ CFA charter holders. You may think many of the candidates are finance students. Actually, if you look at this graph, many of the candidates or learners who take the CFA program, they're currently working in accounting or in auditing. So we think this trend is because they're looking for a change in their job, in their career. So they may start with audit firm, they cannot stand the horrible working hours, and they may want to have a change in their career. That's why they started to take the CFA program. And many of the auditing firms, they also have the consultancy arms. So it's a good for your mobility, even in terms of within the organization. And of course, the mobility is also global and across different job scope. So why would people start embarking the journey besides the reason I mentioned before? So we always say ourselves as gold standard. Besides ethics, we also uphold the very gold standard in the industry. One thing I want to emphasize and always emphasize is the global passport you're holding. With the CFA designation, no matter where you are in the world, you have this designation which are recognized by global employers in the industry. If you look for a job in New York, Shanghai, Singapore, Hong Kong, they will not challenge you about where you take the CFA program because this is a global destination. Everywhere in the world taking the same exam. However, if you have a master degree in finance, you have to do a lot to prove the value or the quality of your master program. Of course, if you're in an Ivy League school, no one will challenge you. But if you graduate from a local school, even in Singapore or in Hong Kong, they may not understand. I know your university in Vietnam is very good, but what is the standard globally? So this destination is global, and we always call ourselves a global passport for your mobility across among different countries in the world. And of course, you can get access to a very good network of professional. In Vietnam, we have this professional community that you can connect with a lot of industry professional in the field. And here's just one testimonial to show you how broad the curriculum is. That's why it prepares you to many different job roles because you're exposed to many different products, different technical knowledge with the curriculum. So what does the CFA program cover? Just now, the lecture already showed you a percentage of the coverage. So this is a three-level exam, level 1, level 2, level 3. Or for the first level, is more focusing on your knowledge and comprehension, as you can imagine, basic understanding. And then level 2, move on to application. And level 3 is for you to consolidate all your knowledge together. As I keep mentioning, ethics is very important. So you can see among all three levels, ethics are in the core. That uphold our standard, and all the ethical behavior you will be tested among the all three level of the exam. So this is a detailed breakdown of the topics for level 1, level 2, level 3. As you can see, when you move on to level 3, more focus will be on the, like just now, the derivatives and portfolio construction, asset allocation. So how can you start the program? We just recently introduced some changes. So either you have a university degree, or if you're 23 months away from your graduation. So if you're in a 4-year program, basically you can start taking level 1 at the beginning of year 3 on the 3rd year. And now with the computer-based testing, we also offer a lot of at least 4 times a year for the level 1 exam. So you can better plan ahead with your schedule. Also cross with your studying. You may want to start during your summer break to start preparing and then plan ahead of how you want to tackle this. So on average, we recommend around 300 hours of study time for each level of the exam. If you have a finance degree or you have already some contacts with finance, you may take less or you may take more. It really depends on how you spend your time and how you utilize like prep providers or the learning ecosystem. Once you register, you'll get access to all the materials you needed to prepare for the exam. And why we always encourage our learners to start early, as one reason I have mentioned is that you can better plan ahead with your scheduling during university while you have distraction. When you started working, it may be more difficult for you to allocate your time. While you're studying, also, of course, you have this mindset of exam and you have better memory. Trust me, after graduate, you got too many distractions with jobs, with a lot of social life. When your universities, while you're still in this mode, it will help you to digest all the content at the same time with your academic degree. Of course, you need to balance a little bit, maybe skip a little bit of your time in TikTok. Then you can have more time prepared for the exam. And something we always get asked, how CFA compare to MBA? I never stop people from taking MBA. That's not mutually exclusive. You can take both. But why we move the CFA program to let you have eligibility move further to help you prepare for the exam earlier. You can do it during your university. Imagine you're looking for a job. I give this example so many times. If I'm an HR looking for a deck of resume or cover or CV, I don't know who you are. How you can get a chance to get to interview? It's all about what you achieve. Like if you pass level 1 or level 2 during your university degree, you have your resume, have CFA level 1 or level 2 pass, that will definitely help you stand out from your competition. In Vietnam, it's one of the fast growing market in Asia. And over 50% of new level 1 candidates are students. So if you're students, look at your left or your right, one of them is already taking level 1 exam. Imagine how you can fight the competition if you want to look for a job. This is a very good qualification for you to write on your CV. So this is the path to become a CFA charter holder. You have to pass all 3 levels, of course, and to get a 4,000 hours of relevant working experience. As I mentioned, we move into computer-based testings, which is we provide more flexibility and accessibility. So you can access to the exam 4 times a year for level 1, level 2, and level 3 3 times a year. Level 1 we offer in February, May, August, and November. And also for each exam, we have a 10 days exam window. So after you register, you can schedule your exam in any of the exam center. Even you're now in Vietnam, you can have your exam. If you exchange to some other countries, you can take your exam in other countries. So you can always schedule exam somewhere else. And the exam format, computer-based, level 1 is all multiple choice question, level 2 also, but then we also have some item set questions, which means we'll provide you with a scenario or context. Then you have to answer the question based on the context. And level 2, of course, because we are testing your knowledge of consolidation, understanding, so you have some self-structured response like essay question. So we have over 400 test centers globally in 108 markets. That's why I said it's very accessible to take the exam. And this is just an example of showing you how we ensure you have the quiet security environment to take the computer-based exam. Okay, we recently introduced 6 changes. Some of you may already know and I already mentioned, but all are responding to the needs of the industry, employers, and also our potential candidates. So one of the changes is the eligibility, which I mentioned. Now, university student, 2 years away from graduate, you can take the exam already. Second is the focus curriculum. If you're in finance or in business, many of the basic concepts you already tackle very well. We are aware that, like, for example, statistics, economics, or financial statement analysis, already know them. And then we try to, we are now taking it out from the curriculum. We'll provide them still free of charge as a prerequisite reading. You can read them if you have time, or if you're not sure if you understand them, or you're sure that yourself can tackle them very well. So you can focus your time in the core curriculum. This concept will not be tested directly in the exam, but we expect you have to understand this concept in order to tackle the CFA curriculum. Another changes we introduced is definitely responding to the industry and employers list. We introduced these practical skill modules, which is on the job skills. We expect our candidates or learners who pass level 1 or level 2 to know. And when they enter the job market, they have some hands-on skill. They sit on the desk, they know what to do instead of just textbook knowledge. So level 1 and we introduce financial modeling, Python programming fundamentals, and level 2 data science and analyst skills, and even level 3 we have portfolio development and constructions. How this work? This is basically a mix of videos, practice, hands-on question, or for example, you see how to build a finance model in Excel. This is not tested. This is for you to learn. So it will not impact your pass or fail, but then you have to finish at least one of them in order to get your exam result. So we always recommend our candidates, after you finish the exam, then you have to wait for your result anyway. Take some time, a few 10 hours, 20 hours to do these practical skill modules before you can get your exam results. You can take both, which I think you'll benefit from them. Or if you don't have enough time, you can choose which of you are more willing, or you think is more practical for you. So this is just an example of how it looks like. It's not only really dry PowerPoint slides. You have interactive people talking to you, and we have to do some Excel, and there's no prerequisite knowledge. We expect you to know nothing, and then we try to teach you something from the scratch. So you can see this quite interactive and very and we have videos and also multiple choice question to help you learn. Another changes, which may be not as relevant, but then also will change your aspiration to take the CFA program, is that we introduced 2 new pathways for the level 3 exam. in the past, we only have one portfolio management pathway. Everything is about portfolio management. However, now we're introducing two new pathway, which is private market and private wealth. So if you're interested in these two areas, in the past, you may not be interested in the CFA program. Now you may consider, or you already passed level one, level two, and then you started a job, you want some mobility in job, you want to go to another team, then you can choose to take level three with these two pathway. 70% of the curriculum will still be the same for all level three learners, but then 30% will be focused on your chosen pathway. In your CFA charterholder certificate, it will not show which pathway you're doing, but then you can choose to tell your employers if you're interviewing for a job more relevant to either of these pathways that you have choose. And we also understand that passing level 1 and level 2 is not easy. We always said our exam is very challenging and the pass rate is always less than 50%. So for those who already passed level 1 and level 2, we're introducing this digital badge for you to one click show off on your LinkedIn, on your social profile, to your employers, to your friends that you already passed level 1 or level 2 in a way to recognize your effort in passing the two exam. Eventually, you want to get the one of the far right corner, become CFA charter holder. So this is some key dates just to have a glance for you to have some understanding about the schedule. So for the CFA exam level 1, level 2, level 3, as you can see, all of them have the exam windows and we offer a few times a year. So if you want to catch the early registration deadline for the August exam, which is around 300 cheaper, then you can do that before 8th of January next year. And it will start registration for the August exam will be on the 6th of November. I know it's not cheap, right? So do offer scholarship. The price is around 350 for the enrollment fees, and then every registration there will be two price point of around 1,000 US and then 1,290 US dollars. Early bird will save you around 300, as I mentioned. And we also offer scholarship to our candidates. So access scholarship, you can apply online. It's centralized globally in the US office. If you're studying in affiliated universities, we have 8 in Vietnam. You can go online and take a look. Then we offer the student scholarship exclusive to this partnership with universities, which would reduce the fees to 450 and 600 US dollars. So some tips for taking the exam. As I mentioned, every candidate almost take around 300 hours to prepare. So we recommend you, once you register for the exam, you really tell everyone around you, you have to be focused and skip a lot of friends gathering or a lot of shopping. And utilize the learning ecosystem, which you can build your own study plan. So follow it strictly to make sure you have your progress during the while you're preparing for the exam. And the second is, as I mentioned, utilize the study tools. Besides, of course, SmartTrain provide you with a lot of learning aids. However, the learning ecosystem after you register also help you to build an adaptive learning schedule according to how you respond to the system with the practice question, mock exam. That will help you build a learning path. Try to stick to that. Do a lot of mock exam and the digital test. That will definitely help you in passing the exam. Study the learning outcome statement. You may be in a finance degree that you understand many of the concepts in corporate finance, derivatives, but then the learning outcome from an academic degree could be slightly different from what the CFA exam expected. So study the learning outcome statement is very important for you to reflect on yourself. Do you understand or tackle the main concept we expect you to tackle for each domain or topic of the CFA program? And practice. Work as many practice more exam as many as possible and make sure that some of them at least are under time constraint in a quiet environment, very cold, aircon. So you make sure you know how is it to feel under stress, because when you're under stress, your performance will be different. Don't go take 10 questions for a tea break and then come back another 10 questions. Try to time yourself when you do the mock exam. That will help you to make sure you can handle that under a stressful environment with the time constraint. And make sure to use the proof calculator. Make sure you know how to use it. Even it's a computer-based test exam, we allow you to bring the approved calculator. So you still have to familiarize yourself with all the formulas and stuff like that. Last but not least, there should be one more. No? Oh, this just to show you the learning ecosystem. That's one more tip. Yes, to show up because it will be very surprised to you. Even it's expensive exam, 30% of candidates never show up. It's because we reckon they don't do the tips 1 to 4. They don't practice, they don't feel confident enough, and they don't even want to show up. But I recommend you, even you're only 50% prepared, just go. Treat it as a mock exam. Why would you waste the money? And not everyone can succeed the first time, but at least you give yourself the experience, and the second time you can success. The pass rate is always around 50%. So either fail or pass, but definitely, of course, the best is to prepare, being well prepared and confident enough. But even you are not, just go and don't waste the money. And you can this is a guide, career path guide, which help you to navigate how the self exam on different level help you to help with your career journey and development. Please feel free to scan this because it's not available online, at least for now. It's only exclusive for people who join the webinar, like yourself, to access to this PDF file where just fill in some basic information, then you can access to this career path guide, which tell you how relevant the different level of the curriculum can help you with your career development. Give you a few seconds. Okay, so this one you can easily get online overview of the CFA program, and we have some upcoming webinars about CFA program careers. If you're interested in particular job roles like traders or economists, we always have ongoing webinars. If you're interested, please feel free to register and listen to experts talking about how relevant it is of the program.